college football analyst Houston Nutt is with us here on Tiki and Tierney, of course, an analyst for CBS Sports Network. This Saturday, the SEC game of the week, number 1 ranked Alabama taking on number 18 Auburn. You always got to catch that. Catch Houston and the crew this season on Inside College Football. Coach Tiki and Tierney, how are you today, my man?
Hey, doing great, guys. How about y'all?
Doing awesome. This is a lot of fun. All right, so let's lay it out. I think, and Tiki and I are in agreement on this here. Alabama, obviously, number 1. Ohio State, for me, number 2. And for most people at this point, Clemson and Louisville, flip them however you want. Those are my 4 best teams in the country. If you wanted to make a case for number 5, who did I erroneously leave out? What am I missing?
I bet you're about right on it. I'm real curious to see what the committee does tonight. You're going to have Michigan, Washington, Wisconsin all knocking at the door right outside there. Penn State, too. You know, they're getting close. But I really think Alabama, head and shoulders right now, leading the way. Ohio State, Louisville, Clemson, Louisville, how you want to do it. But I just think Lamar Jackson, guys, is just a player that's just – I know they squeaked by some games, and Clemson did beat Louisville, and so that's got to count for something. So I may see what the committee says there. But, guys, Lamar Jackson, he makes it happen now. Whoa.
Yeah, you know, I'd be ashamed. It'd be a shame if we didn't get to see him in the top 4 when this thing is all said and done, because he could bring one of these non-power, even though they're in the Power 5 teams, a long way, I believe. It seems like any given day he could go off. But let's stick with the team that I think a lot of people are very disappointed in their loss. I mean, all of them are disappointing, the losses of the 3 of the top 4. But Michigan, and the way that they lost and the way that they played, I mean, I don't want to say that Jim Harbaugh's got a lot of challenges in front of him with his quarterback, and that's probably excluding them. But I kind of feel like they may be excluded because of their quarterback situation.
No, you're exactly right. I think that's a blow, guys. You lose at Wilton State the way he's been playing, really up into this past Saturday. He was outstanding. I mean, making some really good throws, getting them out of the wrong play, getting them in the right play. They've been physical in the trenches. Defense has been tough, very good. But, man, for whatever reason, for this past Saturday, especially when they really needed to run the ball at certain times, you know, just didn't look like themselves. And then when you lose a quarterback like that, I think that's a blow. But the good news is you don't have to bring in a quarterback who's – I don't think this quarterback will have like deer in the headlights type of syndrome, because John O'Korn, guys, he played at the University of Houston. So it's not like he hadn't had any snaps. This guy's played some football, so that should help a little. But, again, they're going to probably be on the outside banging on that door.
Yeah, we're talking to Houston Nutt, of course. Houston, part of our crew, CBS Sports Network. We got a good one coming up this Saturday. Number 1 ranked Alabama taking on 18th rated Auburn. And obviously,
hey guys, real quick on that. Alabama-Auburn now, recheck that schedule, because on my schedule here, they're not this week, but for next week.
Huh, okay. I was handed an erroneous sheet of paper here. Wonder how that happened. Let me ask you this, Coach. We still need to see what happens with Penn State here. Obviously, Penn State has 2 games they should win. Rutgers is miserable. Michigan State's a proud team, but very down this year, as we know. So if they win those 2 and the Buckeyes beat Michigan, I mean, there's so many scenarios. I guess what I want to ask you really is specific to Washington, because I feel like most people focus on the Big Ten scenarios, but what is Washington's most direct path moving forward to get inside the top 4 if they can?
All these guys right now, especially the one-loss team like Washington, they got one hope. They got to win and win out decisively. I think they got to get to that championship and win that one. This is where it gets difficult for me, because I think a champion deserves to be in that Final Four, guys, that playoff scenario. If Penn State wins out and they're the champion of the Big Ten, they should be there. Washington goes the same way, and that's where I really think the number 8's going to come in, where you have 5 champions and you have 3 at large. You'll have it covered. In this way, this is a tough deal, because always number 5 and number 6 and number 7, they're going to be screaming because they won't in there, and they're going to show you what they did at certain times. So, well, this is November, guys, and this is where it's so fun to watch. And I can't wait to get back in the studio and watch these games because every game is so important in November.
You know, when you think about the Pac-12, as BT was just talking about, Washington, they just lose to a USC. Now, USC, even though they're a 3-loss team, they've climbed their way back into the top 10. Now, unless certain things happen, I think Utah's got to lose. There's another team that's got to lose before they have a chance to get into their conference championship. But unless that happens, I mean, they're clearly on the outside looking in here, even though they've done a great job of turning around what I think was early a disappointing year.
No question about it. I think we can point back to, guys, I think you hit a key thing on USC. When they made the move to Sam Darnold, the quarterback, it just seems like something changed. The receivers seem like they run better routes. The enthusiasm, the play on defense, offense, it's just really, you don't want to play USC right now. You really don't. You're exactly right. They're really coming on. I still think it's going to be hard for them to get there. But, man, they look really good compared to the first 3 weeks. Whole different team now.
Coach, which of the big jobs is going to be open in the next month or so? What do you anticipate?
You know, I don't know. You know, you hear rumblings at Texas, and Charlie is, you know, he's playing with a lot of younger guys right now. And there's a group that's saying, hey, he's going to be back for next year. Mm-hmm. But he's got to win out. I just truly believe you got to win out. The way the world is now, you got to win yesterday. You know, when you go to Manhattan, you get beat by Kansas State. You know, you get beat. You know, a couple of these games, you know, you're Texas, and so eyes are on that job for sure because that's in that state alone. There's on the average 334 Division I athletes that are signed, you know, each year. And so Texas they want to be relevant. They want to be in the championship talk, and right now they're not. But you know, there's days where Texas looks good, and you feel like, well, Charlie's got it. He's going to turn it again. Shane Buechele, you know, we saw him coming out the first game against Notre Dame. I said, man, they got a team, and then we find out, you know, Notre Dame's not that good, and so it's just been kind of an up and down deal right now for Texas. So you keep your eyes on that one. USC, it looked like to me, you know, he's kind of turned it. A lot of talk about who's going to take his spot. But, you know, I go to Colorado. You know, there's a lot of noise for Coach McIntyre last couple of years, and look at him now.
Yeah.
And the Buffaloes are, lo and behold, they could be fighting for a championship. And so, you know, the days of the time, you got to give Colorado credit because they gave really Coach McIntyre another year when a lot of people were calling for his head, and look what happened. So, you know, I'm always kind of on the side of the coaches a little bit, guys. I'm a little bit partial.
Yeah, well, I wonder why. Houston Nutt, former coach and Analyst, CBS Sports Network. By the way, the game is Missouri-Tennessee coming up on our network on Saturday, SEC Game of the Week, Teak.
You know, Houston, you talk about Notre Dame. You just mentioned him, and we were talking about coaches on the hot seat or potentially going elsewhere. What's going to happen with Brian Kelly? Got a big matchup this weekend, obviously, with Virginia Tech, and who knows if they're going to show up to play that game. But, I mean, the fall has been precipitous for this Notre Dame program from last year.
Really has. You know, I know a lot of people are disappointed, and, of course, Notre Dame being a national team, what I mean by that, they can recruit all over the entire United States. And, you know, for whatever reason this year, you know, it hadn't happened for them. And, you know, a lot of people, you know, are saying change is needed. But, you know, you look at the athletic director comes out and said, hey, he's my coach. And, of course, Coach Kelly, he didn't quite like that too much because, you know, he's been at that championship game. He's been at the national championship game. And it felt like he's done a lot for Notre Dame. So he expects to be there, and I expect him to be there. You know, I don't know. You just hear rumor of. You just got to kind of stay tuned. But I think he'll be there.
There you go. Houston Nutt laying it down. All right, have fun over the weekend. Of course, college football analyst, CBS Sports Network, Mizzou and Tennessee. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.